So check it out. Are you recently trying to lose some fat, lose some weight, so you decided to opt for the cutting calories method, aka the only method? However, you've noticed, well, if this is the only method, why am I cutting calories and not losing weight? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be covering 4 reasons exactly why this may be happening to you. This is going to come from years of experience with myself, my clients, my friends, my family, and hundreds of hours of research and all that good stuff. So let's dive into this video and let's figure it out. I want to know why you're not losing weight and you're cutting calories. Let's go. What's up everyone, it's John Mango from Beyond the Iron, where we're looking to take your fitness and nutrition further so you may change your life forever. Notice I say you may change your life. That all depends on whether or not you decide to roll with this advice or not. So on this channel we cover a lot of fat loss videos, a lot of meal plans, recipes, workouts, all that good stuff, fitness related stuff. So if you're interested in that and you feel like it could help you out, then consider subscribing to the channel. That being said, we're gonna dive right into the topic of today's video, and like I mentioned, it's gonna be about the fact that you're trying to cut your calories down but you're still not seeing results. I know that this might freak you out because you're thinking, well, if so many people like John Mango suggest that cutting calories is essentially the end all and be all of fat and weight loss, then how is it that when I cut the calories, it's not working for me? Am I not human? Like, is there something else I need to know here? Before we dive to those conclusions and assumptions, which hey, I'm not gonna rule them out just yet, but let's see if you fall into one of the next 4 reasons or 4 categories as to why you're cutting your calories and you're not seeing the weight loss you want. All right, so first things first is gonna have to do with probably your phone, maybe a pen and paper, but the first reason is gonna be because you are not actually tracking accurately / you're not being honest with yourself. I know that you're thinking, come on, this isn't what I want to hear. Of course, I like to say a lot of things that people don't like to hear because unfortunately it's the things that people don't like to hear that are often the ones that are true. So before anything, you want to ensure that you are accurately tracking your calories, okay? Now I'm also responsible for doing this myself from time to time. What I mean is, let's say you're tracking your typical meals throughout the day, you have roughly the same things throughout the day, and you've cut down the portions on that, or you've physically cut out the calories, you've tracked it, all good, fine. However, what you're not tracking is, I'll have one of this little snack. What could it be, 100 calories at most? And you might be right, maybe it is 100 calories. But the point here is that 100 calories is preventing you from seeing the weight loss that you would otherwise see if you actually cut back those 100 calories. That was the point of you cutting the calories in the first place, wasn't it? Tracking accurately is usually the #1 reason why people are not seeing the fat loss that they want. Now, this is just a matter of things falling through the cracks, and it's as simple as that. You may not realize that you have, snacked on a few things here. Maybe you're seeing weight loss, so you decide to keep cutting, or maybe you're not seeing weight loss, but you're like, you know what, I'm tracking my calories better than most people. I'm tracking 90% of the calories, so I should be seeing weight loss. But this is not the case. This is a completely unforgiving technique, and fat loss is entirely unforgiving, considering the fact that it relies on a principle as solid and as fundamental as the law of gravity, being the law of thermodynamics. Sorry if I'm getting a little technical there, but the point is just make sure that you're tracking every single thing that passes across your mouth, goes into your body, and from there, only from there, once you're 100% honest with yourself, because if you're lying to me, fine. I mean, hey, it's your results. But if you're lying to yourself, then you're your own worst enemy. So determine that first and foremost, and then from there, let's look into the other ones. Let's go with number 2. Big reason why people might be cutting calories and not seeing weight loss. Again, this comes from years of experience with clients and whoever else. Sorry if I blend in with the background too. I think it's time for a tan there, bud. I wore the black shirt, maybe that'll help. Second reason is because your overall daily expenditure / lifestyle activity has gone down. Now there's also a fancy acronym for what I'm speaking about here, and that's known as NEAT. N-E-A-T, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This essentially entails all of the activities outside of metabolic processes, including, sleep, breathing, heart pumping, you know, basically just basic functions of the organs. Things that your body is automatically, it's like a tax, right? Your body is taxed away those calories because it needs it for those functions. Anything outside of that being, you know, brushing your teeth, maybe you're brushing them for 1 minute instead of 2 minutes, or, you know, I know it sounds very minor, but just to paint you a picture here, maybe you were walking your dog twice a day, you're now walking him or her once a day. Maybe you used to take the stairs to get to your office, now you're taking the elevator. Maybe you used to ride your bike, now you're taking the bus or you're driving there. These are things that actually accumulate over time and make a massive difference when it comes to your overall energy expenditure. And the thing that happens as you start cutting calories and you enter a caloric deficit, your body naturally, of course, is going to want to preserve as much energy as possible. In doing so, it's going to make it harder for you to exert more energy in daily activities. So that's something to keep in mind, is that because you are already in a deficit or you're trying to get into a deficit, you want to ensure that it's not too much of a deficit, because if it is, then your overall NEAT is gonna start coming down significantly. Even things like sitting on the couch an extra hour a day as opposed to getting up and doing certain things that you would. This could actually contribute significantly to the amount of calories you're burning on a daily basis. As the number of calories you're eating comes down, you want to keep the number of calories you're burning up here, but once those start to come down and match them, you're not losing weight. So that could be your other problem. That one's actually gonna tie into the third reason, the third possibility here, which is cutting your calories too quick. I mentioned them before and I kind of explained a little bit about it, but you know, besides the whole actually immediately having less energy available for your body to use and, you know, keep NEAT at a higher level, what happens is your hormones can take a hit if you cut calories too quick. So a lot of things that have happened with clients in the past is, let's say I give them a macro layout and a calorie layout. What they'll do is, once they start seeing the initial weight or fat loss, they say, okay, good, I want to keep going down. Because everybody wants it to be a linear process. However, it never is. And you have to understand that, because if you think it has to be linear, as you're going down, it's gonna start plateauing. So what are you gonna do? Cut calories quick. I just wanna eat less every day. That's gonna cause your metabolism to crash. Obviously your body's metabolism is very adaptive. And if it realizes that, whoa, I'm gonna starve and die if you keep this up, I'm gonna lower metabolism, which in turn lowers NEAT like crazy. And is just going to essentially slow the process of fat burning and of muscle gain or retention and all these other factors down. Hormones are going to be imbalanced, and essentially what happens from cutting the calories too quick is you're going to burn yourself out. And similar to, let's say, not sleeping. By the way, if you haven't seen my video on not sleeping, just click up here. I explain how not sleeping to be more productive is counterintuitive, because you're actually going to be less productive by not sleeping enough. So this is the same concept here. You keep cutting calories too low, you're actually going to do yourself more harm, as your adherence is going to drop significantly. So once you can't tolerate it anymore, guess what happens? Boom, binge, adherence out the window. You're back up here with calories, you're gaining, your mind's all messed up because you're looking at the scale and you're like, oh my god, I'm gaining everything, all my hard work. No, this is the whole purpose and whole reason why crash diets are labeled crash diets. You will crash. You want to avoid this. Be more conservative. You got to take a slower approach. More conservative approach will equal long-term results. So the last point I'm going to touch on here, the fourth point and possibility, is your macro and micronutrient fluctuations from day to day. So one thing, let's talk about macronutrient, radical changes in your macronutrients as you lower calories. So if you're only focusing on calories, and by the way, I'm going to be making a video on this soon, as you're focusing on calories, I'm gonna come back here. As you focus on calories, if you're only focusing on calories to an extent, you're eventually gonna increase the chance of the possibility that your macros are just way out of whack. So as you're lowering calories conservatively and appropriately to maintain muscle mass and performance and daily NEAT, then what happens is you should be cutting carbs for the most part, again conservatively, but protein should always stay high, fat should stay relatively the same, because that's gonna deal with your hormonal profile. Now the second you start cutting calories without being aware of your macronutrients, and by the way, if you want to know how to calculate your macros and calories, you can also click here in the description below. I'll have a video that I created for that. So if you ignore the macros, let's say, let me paint you a picture here. Let's say you're cutting the calories, and then, you know, you're cutting protein as your calories. You're cutting calories, so you decide, okay, I'm gonna have less meat or less lentils, quinoa, whatever, depending on lifestyle you choose. You have less of the protein source. What happens is your carbs are gonna stay either high or be even higher in proportion to those calories that you're now eating. Higher carbs could, regardless of a calorie deficit, store glycogen in the muscles, retain a lot of water, and bloat you at the same time. All these things could lead to you seeming like you're not losing any weight. Not to mention that as you may stay around the same weight, the problem that'll be happening is that you might actually start sacrificing muscle mass because, again, you cut the protein and because your hormones might be out of whack. So one thing to keep in mind, always keep your macros in line as you cut calories. If all you're focusing on is calories and that's it the entire time, there's gonna come a point where it could affect you negatively in your fat loss journey, and it could lead to a huge bounce back or simply you cutting calories and not seeing the weight loss you want. And with that, just talking about micronutrients and minerals, you know, if you have foods that are extremely high in sodium, just because your calories are cut low, if you have a food that day that is extremely high in sodium, or let's say you haven't had any carbs for the whole day and you stack all the carbs at the end right before you go to sleep, these could lead to, you know, heavier weigh-ins the morning after. And again, this doesn't mean that you're not losing fat, but it's gonna show up on the scale, which is why the scale isn't always the best way to measure. But again, if everything's under control, the scale is a good way. However, these fluctuations can occur to the point where you think, well, I'm not losing weight, what's going on? I was so good, I cut my calories and I'm not losing weight. Screw this, I'm out of here. This doesn't work. Give me the next Weight Watchers. What's good, Jenny Craig? You know, I'm looking for a new program here because, you know, cutting calories is complete bullshit. Hold on a second, relax there, easy tiger. Let's just slow it down and understand that try to keep your foods consistent. So macros need to be consistent, micros need to be consistent, okay? Specifically minerals as well, sodium, potassium being two of the big ones that will lead to fluctuations. Make sure that that's on point. Also, make sure that you're tracking accurately, okay? So if you're not tracking accurately, the things that slip through the cracks will literally hold you back entirely, and I've seen it many times in the past for myself, my clients, and all that. So when it comes to any of my clients or friends or family or anybody that I'm helping out with losing fat, losing weight, my first question and my first analysis observation is going to be, okay, if it shows that they have not lost weight in a while and their calories are down to 800 a day, I know something almost for certain, and that's gonna be that they are missing out on tracking certain things, okay? If you're only eating 800 and you're not losing weight, I'm telling you right now, you should be losing weight, you should be losing it fast, and you're gonna feel terrible. However, chances are, if you don't feel any of those things and you feel okay and you're just wondering why I'm not losing weight, chances are you're not tracking accurately. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Be honest with yourself first, okay? That's gonna be it, everyone. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, just comment below in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. If you dislike the video, fuck you. I'm just kidding, it's okay, dislike the video, but leave me some, you know, some constructive criticism at least so I can improve these videos for you. I recently sent out a survey to my email list and got a ton of answers back, so I've got another 1,000 videos that I've got lined up for you guys. Remember, I've got new content coming Tuesdays and Fridays every single week, and that's soon gonna be bumped up to 3 times a week. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you in that next video. I'm out.